I mean, it looks like like I said, it looks like we're in an ISIS prison camp.
We need better chairs. For sure.
We need a lot of better things, but we're fucking trying, dude.
That's true.
Are we starting? Is this started?
Yeah.
It is started. Welcome back.
Thanks for being here.
Welcome back to the program. This is a big day. This is the first post-quarantine actual in-person fucking thing.
Yeah.
As you can see, we are in my garage, which again, it does look like Abu Ghraib. I get that. But
we're the most showered and cleaned POWs you've ever seen.
Oh my god, dude! I showered just 20 minutes before this started. Mm-hmm. Name me a POW who is getting showers on the reg like me. Name one.
What? Okay, I can't.
Name one. John McCain.
John McCain. Dude, rest in peace, John McCain. What country do you think treats their prisoners the best? Their prisoners of war. Okay, we're two.
I feel like it's something weird, like the Philippines.
You think so?
Listen, any POW camp is not going to be ideal, but I feel like they could be like the rogue ones, and maybe it's not the Philippines, but there's like one rogue one. They're like, listen, we have to keep you for political gain, but listen, we're not animals.
Oh, they feel guilty about it.
Yeah, they don't feel good, but they're put in that position. They don't want to hold people against their will. That's true.
I was thinking I couldn't imagine a Scandinavian country having an Abu Ghraib or Guantanamo Bay.
I don't think they have prisoners of war, my dude. I don't think they fuck around with that.
That's true. They just don't go to war. That's
dude,
true.
If Norway took a political, if Norway took an American journalist as a political prisoner, the U.S. would blow up their version of the White House on live TV, for their whole nation. Yeah, it would be not even a close.
I mean, Julian Assange seeked refuge there. We didn't blow nobody up.
That's a good point.
This is a hot story. I feel like we do some you stuff.
We're basically MSNBC. I do like this look now that I'm looking at it. Listen, people who are watching, if you stand for us, if you've been in this game for a minute, this is a big day. We got decent audio for you people on SoundCloud. We fixed the fucking audio. We're going. Mm-hmm. We're going pro, dude. I mean, we had a thing going with the green screen at your place, and then there was a pandemic, and then we're like, okay,
yeah,
we had to take a break because you were out squirting, I was squirting, we couldn't. It just wasn't viable, and I know that literally no one who watches this cares if we live or die, but we were worried about it.
I unfortunately never squirted because I wanted to squirt, but squirted we mean just spread our juices, have COVID-19. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never got it, which sucks because maybe this is a privileged thing to say, but I kind of
You wanted it?
I kind of want it.
I think that's how everybody feels right now. I think they just want to know that it's fucking done and then they can move, but then you get it twice. Nobody knows anything.
I went to I was at the beach. Okay, I'm gonna, dude. Yeah, let's do. This is the first half hour of the show. We can talk about our lives. So, I was at Roy Rogers Beach, and was it William Rogers? Roy Rogers?
Will Rogers. The one north of Santa Monica.
Roy Rogers is the fake ass Arby's on the interstate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Roy Rogers was a Western.
Was he?
Star, yeah.
I just know from the curly fries.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. Yeah. But continue.
You know more things than me. You're more
dude, Roy Rogers.
You know references.
Yeah, Roy Rogers. It's like a cherry Coke cocktail without,
Yeah, I didn't know. Is it?
It is. Roy Rogers is a version of a cocktail that's cherry and it's just grenadine and Coke, I think. I don't know what it is. He thought he was hot shit back in the day. He's making cherry Coke, and he's like, "This is Roy Rogers."
Fast food restaurants, too.
And he was a Renaissance man. But continue. You're at Roy Rogers Beach.
I'm at Roy Rogers Beach, and there's so the gay community hangs out at Roy Rogers Beach. There's and this was the crazy thing. I didn't know this, but there were cones coned off for
the gay part
for the gay men. Also, I have to bring this up. I'm secure with my body. I never think about my body. It's never been since I was in 8th grade. It's never been something where I'm ooh, my titties,
Yeah.
And covering up. But when I was walking by this and it was almost like cattle because they were all segregated in these cones and they were so packed in, my dude. And I was looking at these guys and it was I was looking at them, I'm dude, the aesthetic of these men. I'm
yeah.
I was insecure.
they got it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
they got it, dude. And they're listen. We're in West Hollywood right now, my dude.
Yeah, dude.
This is all every day. I'm the most biggest pieces of shit in this neighborhood. I understand the feeling.
Dude, it was so bizarre to me because I'm looking, and they're also, it's not even like the bodies. It's just like they have cool haircuts and stuff. They got cool like.
They just care. You can tell they have like special like powders and like lotions for like your balls and stuff that like make it not smell like garlic.
Like a wet dog.
Yeah. Well,
like a dog that ate a bunch of garlic.
They just care, dude. They just care. And honestly, it like makes me. You think that would motivate me? Like in literally, this is the gayest neighborhood in America. You think it would make me want to like step up my game? It hasn't at all.
Dude,
it just makes me more sad. I'm like, I can't. How many steps do I have to get to be at this level of cool / sexy?
It's so hard.
So many.
It's so hard. Okay, so in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because here's one. Do you ever think I had this thought? I used to hang out with these dudes that I used to work with. One was 6'8".
Oh shit.
Black dude, huge, the biggest man I've ever seen.
Big hammer.
I'm sure. All right. And his boyfriend. So I worked with Keith, this guy, big ass black dude, huge arms, like the biggest guy I've ever seen. And then I met his boyfriend. So Keith's 38 and his boyfriend, Tommy, they're probably around here somewhere. But his boyfriend, Tommy's like 50.
Keith and Tommy.
And he looks these are like the most attractive men, okay?
Oh, I believe
I was like, if I was going to get dicked down by a man, it'd be these two dudes.
Yeah, both of them.
But you'd think, because I was talking to my friend about it, and she was like, yeah, were they trying to fuck you? And I was like, no. I never, because you kind of think like, maybe they got a thing for me. Dude, honestly, they did not sexualize me at all. You think they'd be like...
And you wanted them to?
Kind of.
Yeah, for sure. You want to be like a little piece of me.
They didn't.
I get that.
They had nothing for me. There was nothing there.
It's funny because I get sexualized by like really old white ladies.
Oh, really?
Like weird. Yeah, like an old, like a trashy old lady who's working at Speedway or something. That's where I'll get it, which is odd. It's very conflicting. I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know if I don't know whose type I am. Here's an example. I was like at some weird grocery store when I was in Florida for like the week, and it was just like some lady who's like in her 60s, but like had seen some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you ever
miles on her,
yeah,
dude.
She's got miles.
Rubber, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And so I'm at this gas station, and I'm just having like basic, because I have like no contact with anyone now since like COVID. I just like, get my shit and go. But she's like, so I'm like, I'm getting heartburn medication or some shit like that, and they need my ID. So she's like, can you pull the mask down so you can see your face? And I was like, oh yeah. And then I was struggling because hey, shout out to my glasses wearing folks. Here's the thing about masks. They get hooked on the back thing, and you pull it out, and it's a whole clusterfuck. So I'm like struggling, and she's like, don't worry, honey. Like, you can't hide those big eyes. And I was like, what the fuck?
Big eyes?
Big. She's like, you can't hide those big brown eyes. Like, something like that. She said, sorry,
because there's
big brown.
a difference, dude.
That's
big eyes is like...
Yeah, I'm not a deer.
Yeah. Calling you a dork, dude.
No. And I was just like, oh, all right. Like, that's cool. How'd
it feel?
I felt weird. I don't know.
It wasn't
flattered? No, I didn't care.
Isn't that weird? If it's someone that you have like absolutely no like sexual attraction for, even a compliment, you're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah,
it's not a good.
That was like the slightest slice of what it could feel like to be a woman. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're just like, dude, I don't. You
unwanted attention.
You work at GameStop. Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm a chick with a career.
That's actually. Oh man, I was actually talking about this with a friend of mine. There's like, the girls have, guys and girls have this thing, but she bought like the deluxe version. You've been on Tinder, right?
Yeah.
Long time ago, obviously.
Yeah.
But she bought like the deluxe version so she could see who matched with her. And she told me, she was like, I bought this version and it showed me all the people that matched with her.
Why would you pay for that if you're a woman?
Well,
why would you want to see that fucking sea of darkness?
Because reason being, you can't see anyone and they don't match you with anyone until you pay. And then it's like, oh, here are all those 50 people that we've been hiding from you. And she saw those people and she was like, she was like disgusted that these it's so bad, but she was disgusted that these men thought that they had like a chance with these. Isn't that those?
Yeah, but she's also missing a very critical point about men on Tinder, which is that they just swipe right. It's just a fucking fury of yes. Let's see who. And if you're like, let's see who clicks, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like those dudes, the gross dudes that she was literally disgusted to see that they were interested in her.
Yeah.
Without even sending her a message, just their photo disgusted her, which is a lot. For, this chick better be
it's
fucking ScarJo with this level of, Is she?
No.
Okay.
But no, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Listen, you got to be a bad bitch to be saying like I'm disgusted by this guy.
Oh, come on,
now if he sends
dude.
a message, it's
have
like,
you ever? Yeah, if it's one of those, like if it's like Hinge where you can actually leave a comment, that's him like
dude,
shooting
that's
his
what I'm
shot.
saying, dude.
Yeah.
If a guy is sending like some creepy ass comment, be disgusted.
Right.
But if you're literally just disgusted by the face of someone who's interested in you, you're a bitch, dude. I don't give a fuck about your friend. You're an asshole. That's a human being. Now, granted, you could message them and the first thing they say is like, I know where you live. Yeah. But still.
She knows.
Whatever.
But I mean, I remember, that was like one time, all right, there was this guy that I worked with it was at a YMCA, and there was this girl, what was her name? I don't know, it doesn't matter. But she was cute. She was like a thick girl, dude. Like Latino girl with a like fat ass, So she was cute. But definitely like, I think this guy who was like, bridge troll, my guy. Yeah. Bridge troll. And he was like, he was kind of like autistic-y, where he just like didn't really fit in. He was like
autistic-y?
Yeah, he was like nice enough, but he was autistic-y. He had a hard time connecting. And this girl was telling me that this guy straight up was like, I challenge you to a race like in the pool. Yeah. And if I beat you, you have to go on a date with me.
See, this has never worked.
No.
This has never worked one time. I don't care how many fucking books you read from the 60s. This has not worked once. But continue.
But she was like, she told me the same story. She's like, it really hurt my self-confidence that this man had the courage.
What is
to give that ultimatum.
What is this?
Dude, but when she said that, I was like, yeah, it's insulting. I get it, dude.
No.
This guy was like, he didn't care about his appearance at all. He was weird. The fact that like, it made sense. I didn't think she was a bitch. I didn't. I wasn't like,
listen,
bitch.
I don't either. I mean, I
get what you're
saying. In the previous, okay, well, this guy's out here trying to have fucking Olympic races to win over a chick. Here's the problem. Here's the inherent problem. Okay. Anytime a dude does this, he's basically saying like, oh, in my world, I have a scenario where I can get you.
I can trick you into.
You just like, I win this race. How about you do it? She could be like, how about you can swim 10 laps and I still won't fuck you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why it's like the guy's assuming that he can do something to get her.
It wasn't an actual challenge. It was just his way of like playfully coming up with a way to shoot a shot, dude. And I respect
that.
I respect it.
You got to do what you got to do.
I'm sure she let him down easy, but I also understand from the point of her where she's like, wow. That man had the confidence to ask. It's one of those things where, it sounds like a fucking bitchy thing. Well, but like everyone can relate to that. I'm sure you've had that where someone's like shot their shot on you, and you were like, oh boy,
yeah.
Like, it's human nature.
I know, but I guess what I'm saying is the point is like anytime some girl like back in the day would match with me on Tinder that I was just not, it was not even part of the conversation. I wouldn't be like, oh God, I wouldn't like take it personally. I'd be like, this chick works at the airport. Yeah, and she's on my fat ass. That's how it works. Like, I get it.
I feel that, okay, for me, I'm like, I feel as though I'm pretty mature and I try to have that attitude, but like honestly, I do feel deep down sometimes I'm like, I need it. I do. I feel. I get it. I take your interest in me as an insult.
Yeah. Well, that's how I listen.
I cannot be alone, dude.
The luxury.
I cannot be alone in this.
Oh, I know you're not.
Okay.
I know you're not. I'm just saying, you know.
Well, I
It is
obviously
fun.
have two friends that are just as big as bitches as me.
It is what it is. Don't worry about the cable. These are good mics, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta hold it up here, dude. I waited in Guitar Center. I waited, dude. You guys don't even get it. Like, I know that people come in casually in and out of these episodes, and rightfully so. I understand, but dude, I waited for 45 minutes in line at fucking Guitar Center today on the blacktop to get the high quality audio.
You were in 45 minutes?
45 minutes on that. But I texted you. I was sitting there. It was 45 minutes on blacktop.
Buddy.
Because Guitar Center apparently has stricter COVID regulations than fucking CVS, and it was 1 in, 1 out.
Are you kidding?
1 in, 1 out. Yeah, and like, dude, I mean, it's one of those things I was like, yeah, I guess this kind of should be it. Like, there was nobody in there. Rightfully so. It was good, you know? But then I'm standing out there at the goddamn Guitar Center on Sunset Boulevard in the blacktop baking. And I'm just like, I'm gonna get a sunburn. I'm like, I'm getting a sunburn.
That sucks,
And
dude.
it
You look
does suck.
good. You don't.
Dude, that's
You're
'cause
Italian, right?
Well, yeah, I got that olive Mediterranean
Yeah.
skin, you know. But I was waiting. I faced away from the sun, but I waited 45 minutes in line so I could go inside and get these microphones. Waited 45 minutes just to go in and hear some piece of shit doing a Van Halen solo.
Oh,
like some guy waited for that. You know what? Listen. I'm not trying to pull rank on anyone here, but I had a specific. Mission.
That's a good point because a lot of times people just go into Guitar Center to riff on a Paul Reed Smith that they can't afford.
It's a trashy ex-juggalo who's now trying to get into like metal.
Yeah.
Is in there with a fucking Schecter guitar doing
Pantera covers.
Pantera playing Cowboys from Hell.
Trying to sweep pick and he knows he can, but
he can't, but he has all the gear in front of him, and then there's just 7 employees who are all contemplating suicide.
Guitar Center sucks.
Guitar Center is the worst, dude.
It is.
And then the guy who I was dealing with was such a cunt. Like, he was so. I was like, "Hey man, you got this SM57?" He's like, "Nope." And I was like, "Oh well." I was like, "I just saw a bunch of displays for him." He's like, "Yeah, what I got out there is what I got." I'm like, "What?" I mean, but you have the mic out anyway. So and then this guy. He's just one of those guys who will just dead end you at every question you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, I know you could do some research. You could go in the back. You could fuck around just to make me feel like you actually give a fuck about me taking what I want.
Yeah,
but they're just no,
he didn't give a fuck.
Do you have
and
a
that's
no?
fine. You know, dude, Guitar Center, the Guitar Center employees and GameStop employees are the same thing.
It's a shit job, and I couldn't blame anyone for being a bitch at a GameStop or a Guitar Center.
I agree.
It's an awful job.
Listen, being shitty to people is one thing, but being holier than thou because you were, you know what it is? It's it's these dudes who work at these niche interest places where they basically are the gatekeepers.
They're the gods.
That dude sucked, but in his world, he's working at the Guitar Center on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, the main one, the big Mac Daddy, where fucking the Disturbed guy goes and buys his Schecters. He works at that guitar. So I see that level of, arrogance, but
that's the funny thing though, because that's something you think about as you start to think it's like when I used to do background acting in movies and TV and stuff. People would see me on TV, but in reality, it's the same as working at McDonald's. So working at
which is not a slight, by the way.
It's not. No, but I'm saying I was working a minimum wage job. I just happened to have Dennis Quaid standing in front of me versus hamburgers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So
these guys are lost in the illusion.
That's what it is.
They think that they're basically in Guns N' Roses.
That's what it is.
They're like, I basically am the roadie for Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
At this Guitar Center.
The people in background acting are aware that the thing is, the people, they think they're aware, oh, this is McDonald's. Except they don't you get a free meal. That's besides the point.
Well.
But those people, they think, they're like, oh, this is one step away from me being in Disturbed.
Yeah. No, that's the thought process I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to give camera 2 some love. I got to give this one love. Yeah.
Here, nobody judge me, but I'm going to dial this back a second. That's how we roll in here.
Are you a little hot?
You're a little hot.
Oh, am I? Okay.
You were a little bit hot.
Okay.
Well, we're just fired up. Like I said, we're in the garage. This is my garage. People were like, oh, Mark Maron had a garage. He started his podcast and it blew. This will not happen in my garage. That will not happen.
I think it will.
It will not happen. The space is too crowded. Yeah. We're at the point now where if you have a podcast that is successful, you basically have to either solve a murder or get a celebrity to admit to being in blackface in the 90s.
Yeah.
One of those two lanes, you will have a successful podcast. But
Can I talk about blackface?
yeah.
Okay. I think we need to recognize something, that there are two different types of blackface.
Okay.
There's like,
Okay.
and this is why it was fine for so long, because I think like, you know, like the classic blackface where it's like
minstrel shit. Like literal, yes. Listen, no one's going to sit here and say that they're basically the same thing though in ideology. That's the whole problem.
no. No, I think they're the exact, because like that's always been bad unless you're in like the Netherlands where it's like what you do on Halloween. But I'm
True.
saying, you know, they have that.
Oh,
There's
I'm
like,
fully
it's like
aware of
Santa's
it.
helper who's
No,
like,
it's called Black Peter.
Yeah.
It's called Black Pete. Here's a history lesson for y'all. I actually went to the Netherlands while they were doing Black Pete one time. It was no, it's not Halloween. It's Christmas time around then.
Yeah.
But basically, the Netherlands has never had any black people live there ever. So they have this like old wives' tale of like Santa Claus in the Netherlands had a assistant whose name was Black Pete. And he was just, I guess, some guy. I think he's like from Morocco or something. Some guy who's basically Santa's slave. All right, and that's the. So now all the kids in the Netherlands, come Christmas time, they all dress up as Black Pete.
Right.
So they're all wearing blackface and stuff like that, and none of them know that it's not okay because no black people have ever lived in the Netherlands. Not one.
yeah, but
So
all right, I'm not gonna. But like at the same time, their connotation though with POCs is slaves.
yeah, it's not good, dude.
I know.
I'm not saying it's a good tradition.
I'm not letting them off the hook.
I'm not letting them off the hook either.
All right, sound like you were.
Oh
Black
no,
Peter
no! I'm just saying that's why it is.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
why it happened because they don't have the. Now listen, it still happens in America because we're dicks, and even with our legacy of slavery, we still do it because everyone's here is an asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What were we talking about?
Oh, back to my point is there are two different kinds. There's like, it's you impersonating, which I think back in the 90s and 2000s, like 30 Rock, Jenna dresses like Michael Jackson. She's black.
Yeah.
And there was a time where we were like, we still like, blackface was still a problem, but we still did that because we recognized them as two different things. And now in 2020, we're like all the same.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting.
Hey, I mean, it's certainly interesting. I mean,
Don't pretend to be a different race in any
let's just
fucking
go ahead.
context.
Let's just go ahead and avoid that in its entirety. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's try not just set your iPhone wallpaper as Tupac and keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
you don't
it.
need to go make Halloween weird. Speaking of race-related encounters, I had a interesting situation. I was driving to work the other day. I was on Wilshire, and maybe it was like Wilshire and doesn't matter, somewhere near Santa Monica, and I'm just like at this intersection. It's like 8 a.m. right? And there's this white chick and I guess her boyfriend. But anyway, they were just both had big signs and they were like protesters, but it was just the two of them. There were no other people.
Okay.
And the chick had this sign that said, "You're probably racist."
Okay.
And she was just like a white lady holding it. And I swear to God, the first car, like she was in like a crosswalk of an intersection. First car's a black dude. And she's standing there. Like, and here's the thing. It's because like I know her heart was in the right place. And she's actually out there trying to like make a difference. So I'm trying to be sympathetic. But oh boy, did it look bad. She's literally holding a sign up that says a white lady is holding a sign up that says "You're probably racist," and there's just a black dude in the car in front of her. And it's
Dude.
just like I can't imagine what he must have felt like in that scenario. Like I barely kind of just like made it through the intersection,
Yeah.
so I didn't get to like fully savor the moment, you know. But to just see it, I'd be like, "This is," you know what my thought was? I was
What?
like, "This isn't how. This is not
It's
how.
the wrong way.
This is not
to
it.
equal things.
It's not it.
It's-
I don't know what it is." But it's not this.
The sentiment's great.
I actually, yeah, but it's also not because it's,
not. It's
basically
not.
just like you're saying, oh, it's less about
not.
like, hey, we should work together. It's more like you're bad.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah,
anyone
fuck you.
that happens to see my sign.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if this black dude was sitting right in front of him. Just he's like, maybe I am racist. I hate you. So
He didn't look like he was having an introspective moment.
no, he looked like a guy who was trying to get to work.
Yeah,
like,
didn't have
and
time
we
for this
just-
bullshit.
I'm just sitting here next to a fucking coffee bean watching these people. Yeah, but
That's what. Okay, well, I told you I saw this video a couple months ago when when the protests were happening. It was in Cincinnati, and it was so bizarre because there was this guy in the like a pretty busy part of town over the Rhine, where he's yelling out of his window at cops, just like general, anti-police rhetoric, right? And he's yelling at there's a big group of African American cops. He's yelling at them and like calling them Uncle Toms, dude. He's like white dude from his window.
Yikes.
He's like
Yikes.
he's like saying like you're a disgrace to like your race and shit.
Hey, here's a proposal. Can 2020, can white people, can we just all shut the fuck up?
Well, yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Can we just shut up?
I mean, we're talking.
No, I mean, I'm not going into somebody's face. I'm not broadcasting. It's not like I'm forcing my podcast on anyone.
Well, I do.
Yeah, listen, let's just call promotion.
But it was funny to see that and just be like, oh, well, this is just like a full circle of like swap sides racism.
Yeah.
It's like now you're just a white guy yelling at black people.
Yeah.
Again, but you have this like virtuous bent to it.
I can't imagine the balls, dude. I could never have the balls.
I'll find the video.
Is it balls or is it entitlement? Is it like, oh, they need to know?
Both.
It's entitlement. I think it's just like, oh, they don't know and I have to show them. They don't know that they've completely derailed their life. I have to show them how they're failing.
No, I think it's just a self-righteous indignation.
It could be. It could be. Listen, it's a strange place, Did I tell you I went back to boxes and shit?
Oh, part 2?
Yeah.
What happened? You got to explain the whole... Because there's like 4 people that watched all of our episode this week and all of our episode last week, so you got to tell the whole story.
I went to this place called Boxes and Shit. That's not what it's actually called. I'm not going to actually name this business.
And call them out,
No,
dude.
I'm not going to do
what
that.
What is
I'm
it?
Not gonna do
I don't really know what it is.
Dude, it's the fucking box place right up the hill next to the Comedy Store. It's the shipping place. You can find it. If any of you people, if there are any Angelinos listening to this, it'll be easy enough to figure out. But no, I went back to Boxes and Shit.
Yeah.
Guess what? Not even a good story this time. I went up to I fixed the label. Okay. This is the backstory. I went to go mail something, a bag of clothes that had to be returned, and my girlfriend put the wrong shipping thing on it, so it didn't count. The dude stood. The guy. I fixed it. I went back to the door to ship something. They had half hour left open, and the guy with the locked door looked me in my eyes and then walked away and went home instead of taking my package, even though they were open for another half hour.
That's the thing about entrepreneurship is like whenever I leave when I want,
That's true. Yeah. I get that.
Because take your business. I thought you were taking your business elsewhere anyway.
I was, but it was the closest place, so I went with the convenient thing.
There it is. That's the fucked up thing. It's
I know. Dude.
I've been fucked over by Frontier so many times, but I still, if it's the cheapest ticket, I still buy it.
Do it. Listen, we value convenience over morals. But so I go back to this place, and the fucking guy, not even a story this time. It's like 2 in the afternoon, and he's just closed. He's not even there. So I'm like, this guy, when are you open, bro? Or are you just calling people who have to mail stuff and just be like, yo, I'm here, come over? I'm like, I don't know if you make any money off me shipping this FedEx return of clothes.
No, probably not. A couple bucks. It's not worth it to him, man. He's probably got a couple big clients that he services, and then everyone else can get fucked, me. Dude. Yeah,
maybe so. I went to a different one.
Nobody loves you, Zach.
Nobody. I get that. It is what it is, though. Also, same day, got another ticket for not turning my wheels on the hill, on Olive. I forgot again. Dude, I don't remember to turn the wheels. You got to remember, anytime I come home from something, I'm usually having a meltdown of some kind.
Oh, okay.
So I just didn't, it slipped my mind, and I go out there, and dude, 20 minutes after I parked, this son of a bitch, I swear to God, it's got to be the same guy. That hill is nefarious, dude. Olive...
What about
going up to Sunset?
Nefarious for just having...
dude, a guy got murdered there on Friday.
No.
Yeah.
Explain.
I will explain. First of all, let's go forward saying rest in peace to this poor guy, okay? Because I don't know what happened to him. But a dude straight got murked, at an apartment at the bottom of the hill next to Barney's Beanery on Santa Monica. So this dude, anyway, so I guess they found a guy. I was walking, I'm walking my dog. It's Friday, midnight. You know me. I'm up there because it's my Friday, dude. Mm-hmm. So I'm stoned to the gills walking down Olive, and I just see 13 cop cars. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm just letting my dog shit in front of him.
You really buried the lead, by the way, on this.
What?
You started with boxes and shit, and then you witnessed a murder.
I didn't witness it. Listen, if I had witnessed a murder, I wouldn't be here. If I had witnessed a murder, we would totally capitalize and make this a murder podcast. That would be the first thing. I'd be getting Spotify deal done. Yeah. But no, I walked down, there's like 13 cop cars. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then the next morning I look on the news and I Google, just Olive Drive and just search news on Google.
Yeah.
And a guy was just found dead in his apartment and it was ruled like suspicious, like foul play. So, and then it turns out like the landlord called the police. The landlord found this guy dead in his apartment and they ruled it foul play. So there was like a coroner and there were like caution tape and like evidence markers on the ground and shit.
Oh.
So like it wasn't this is not a dangerous neighborhood by any means. Not at all.
No.
Quite the opposite. But this dude got straight up, some dude went to his apartment and found this guy and killed him.
That's the thing. It doesn't matter where you live. If you're fucking with the wrong people, you'll get...
Doesn't matter. You can live in Beverly Hills and
You'll get your body
if
caught.
you get copped, like, I don't know what this guy did. I shouldn't have lost his life over it, but...
Maybe he should have, though. You don't know what he did.
Okay, you think best
Some
case scenario?
people deserve to die, Zach.
Best case scenario, this guy was a pedophile who got killed by some kind of rogue vigilante.
I'm actually sympathetic to pedophiles. I feel like they have a bad...
let's just move on. But
All right.
like you get. Listen, Epstein. What do you?
Yeah.
You're just a guy like that.
No,
fun.
I think like Epstein's a different type of pedophile. That you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
he just wanted the power.
pedophile,
That was a power dynamic.
Some people just
pedo.
have like rotted out brains from previous childhood trauma, and I feel bad for that. But Epstein,
no, he's just a dude who liked to get off. And
you think he's in hell?
The question is there hell?
If there is, Epstein's
well,
there.
yeah, I think that's like that's the general saying, right?
Yeah.
If there's a hell, he's going. Dude, what if he's in heaven? What if what if like people in heaven right now, like the day Epstein got killed, the people in heaven were just like having a good time. Like, I don't know who's up there, but then all of a sudden they see Epstein appear and they're like, what is this place?
Well, I think
I thought we were good.
I mean, unless they're paying attention to what's happening on Earth, they probably wouldn't even recognize him.
Some people would recognize him. Some people would recognize... Dude, some people... Fucking... Who's a celeb who died who recently would have like...
Yes. The celeb that died recently knowing that he was...
Prince is up there and he's like, wait a minute. Wait.
Hey, no.
Oh, no.
How'd you get in here?
This isn't right.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Hey.
This is a bad man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then God's just like, no, don't you dipshits get it? This is a resort.
Right.
You pay to get here.
Yeah.
This is the bet. And then everyone looks around and they realize that there are no poor people in heaven. It's just celebrities.
It's the same as on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, heaven's just literally
buy your way
Earth
access anywhere you want to
go. And
go.
the poor people don't get an afterlife. They can't afford it. They just rot in the ground. That's a dark fantasy. I'm sorry. I guess it's not a fantasy. It's like a dystopia. What if that's what it is? What if you only get heaven if you're rich?
You get up there and they're like, okay, they basically just like do a credit check on you and they're like, well, no, to 400. See you in hell, motherfucker.
You didn't pay off these student loans before you died. Have fun in purgatory, you poor bastard.
What if hell was just like living in like a shitty one bedroom?
like it is
in Omaha.
It is. Oh yeah, you're in like Tulsa.
No, like
something?
not even Tulsa. Like a suburb of Tulsa, like a town. It's my hometown. Hell is living in a 1-bedroom apartment in my own hometown.
That's it.
I'd rather, I would honestly pick a lot of stuff over that. Because it's not even like, if you're in even like well, you know what? I'm aborting.
Yeah, you want to abort? No, hell is living in my home, dude. Yeah,
hell is my childhood.
You're walking a fine line here.
I am. I had a good childhood.
Small towns are great. Everything's great. Definitely move out of LA and go live in Boise, Idaho. It is definitely a bit. By the way, more and more people keep like leaving in LA. But like, I drove down Melrose today, and it was just every place is reopening.
Oh yeah.
Every place, and I'm like, dude. Every time I see it, I'm like, bye. Goodbye. We don't, dude. All the celebrities leaving LA is the best thing to happen to this city, in a weird way.
Leaving?
Dude, fake people like that. You're right. No one.
Who the fuck is everyone still here?
That's what I don't know. But you see all these articles and it's like people are fleeing LA. I'm like, who? People who were living here on their parents' money and now they don't have any fucking railroad for their fake ass dream, so that they get out all of a sudden because the parents don't want to pay the money.
Yeah,
Like,
I maybe because
I feel like that is who it is. Like, you don't see, it's not like Vince Scully's moving at it. It's not like you Mel Brooks. I'm Mel Brooks. Anyone. Pick an A-list.
How old are you?
I don't know. I just dropped 2 weird old white guy celebrity references. I couldn't have gone any
Mel Brooks
worse.
is dead, isn't he?
I think he is. No, Mel Brooks isn't dead.
He's not? Okay.
Maybe. This is our weekly rendition of Is This Person Dead? And
right.
I've never once gotten it right. But
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark is... Yeah, we're just going to go down this.
Let's play.
Let's go this.
Is
Warren Beatty.
dead.
No, he's alive. He fucked up the Moonlight thing.
Yeah. Wait, Dick Clark. That's your quiz.
Dick Clark's dead.
Okay.
Yeah, because he doesn't do the shitty New Year's show anymore that no one watches.
Alan Arkin.
I don't know who that is. Alan Arkin?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
He's an actor.
Alan Alden?
No, Alan.
Alan Alda.
Alan Alda is alive.
Alden was MASH.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good.
I don't know who Kevin Orkin is. This guy you just named.
He's in a lot of... He's good. You'd recognize him.
I should look him up.
You ready to get into some segments?
Yeah, let's do it. Well, let's just hop right in. We're right here. The first one is... We're talking about, the worst, quote, critically acclaimed movies.
Right. This is
These are movies that every fucking person has told you is the bee's knees and that will enrich your life and that it has solved all of the world's problems for that Oscar year. And this is the film that you need to see to put you on the track of righteousness. Now, this definition has changed over time. We're in a new era of the Oscars. Things are, because that's what we're really talking about here. These
Oscars,
typically typically like Oscar
Academy
contenders.
Award winning movies.
Yeah, and then people love to. People are always like, "Oh, this movie. No one even watched these movies. No one even watched these movies."
Yeah.
Hey, dingus, that's the point.
Right.
That was the point, is to show you films that didn't get as much love but have merit.
Right.
And reflect the world in which you live.
Here's a bunch of movies that didn't have superheroes, so y'all didn't fucking watch it. So
listen,
let's give them their due.
The Marvel Universe single-handedly is paying for the infrastructure of Hollywood to continue.
Yes. Right.
But these are the ones that somehow got made. You don't even fucking understand how it got made, but they're here. Worst critically acclaimed movies of it. Here, why don't you hit me with your first one? Because I'm going to pull up like Oscar winners for the last couple.
Okay, I have mine.
Hit me with one.
Here are my like style over substance garbage. Okay, I'm gonna start with Phantom Thread,
which is a great place to start because I think this is hilarious.
Phantom Thread, if you haven't seen it, it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie who I like, but he's kind of fallen off. Like, I didn't like Inherent Vice. I thought it was too confusing. I didn't really get it. You said you watched it high and it made sense to you, which I call bullshit on.
You're wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong. This is a slight aside. No, I have to make this point.
Right.
Inherent Vice is a movie that you have to understand that it's not about the destination. It's just about being confused the whole like it's about the journey.
So?
I do.
If that's true,
and if you watch it as a breakup movie, and if you watch it as a dude it's like a dude who's upset about his life falling apart, and it's just the whole point of the movie is that this guy has just found himself in this scenario where he's just treading water and he cannot make sense out of any of it constantly, and it ends with no resolution either. So I feel like if you look at it as that, it's enriching.
I'll try. I'm willing to try it again.
I think you should. I think you should get real Stony Baloney, get up there and watch it, and then watch it as a breakup movie.
If I get Stony Baloney, dude, it's gonna be just kind of like falling upon deaf ears.
I thought the first time I watched it,
the attention span to watch it sober.
The first time I watched it sober, and I was like, okay, I'm a fan. I'm a PTA fanboy, so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is weird. And then I watched it Stone, and I was like, this has merit.
Okay.
So that's my only point.
All right, that wasn't even what we're talking about. But
regardless, that's what we're talking about. Critically acclaimed films, and you brought up Phantom Thread. Now make your case as to why Phantom Thread sucks.
Here's the thing: you're watching it, and I think, what's the guy? Daniel Day-Lewis overacted it. I felt like I was watching Daniel Day-Lewis masturbate on the screen for the whole entire time. He took it too far. He took it to the point where he was so into this character that it was so clearly a dramatization of like someone that never existed. And you're watching it, and also he was annoying.
Yeah.
So you're watching like the main character is just like insufferable, and then you're watching Daniel Day-Lewis also be insufferable just from like getting so into this insufferable character, and you're waiting for the story to like pay off because you're just watching this guy be annoying and this girl be obsessed with an annoying guy.
Well, let's take a quick aside for
All
people who
right.
haven't seen it. The basic plot of the film is Daniel Day-Lewis is a guy named Reynolds Woodcock, who is that's his actual name in the movie is Reynolds Woodcock. Reynolds Woodcock. Daniel Day-Lewis actually picked that name. Take of that what you will.
Did he really?
Yeah, the
Dude,
character.
Fuck Daniel Day-Lewis, man. He can suck a dick.
I
dude.
get your sentiment, but anyway, he's a dressmaker in the 1950s
he's like a
London.
gownsman, yeah.
Yeah, he's a gown. He just makes beautiful dresses for beautiful mistress.
And he's very like mad scientist-y. He's very
just
like
heady,
arrogant.
yeah,
and, like,
arrogant, like creator type. Like everyone's in his way.
a real Steve Jobs of then.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's just so hard to watch. And then this girl just like falls in love with him and starts like, I don't want to spoil don't watch it. I don't
watch it.
But basically, you get to the end of it. And it just all feels so arbitrary and so stupid and so lacking of any sort of like real emotion or real character development or any sort of real connection between these two characters, and it all feels so vapid and stupid.
Yeah.
And so when I got to the end, I was like, this payoff was terrible. I saw the ending coming because it was pretty obvious. They tried to do like a little twist ending, and it was just like you just sat through 3 or 4 characters that you really didn't like interact with each other for like 3 goddamn hours. Fuck that movie, dude.
Yo.
It was a piss poor film. Thomas Anderson makes great movies. That movie was a heaping pile of steaming dog shit that was only thrown in as a nomination for Best Picture because it's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Lean that way so the frame's more balanced, and I'm going to go into why you're slightly wrong.
Okay.
Was the payoff that good? No. It wasn't a great payoff at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It just, he needed to be controlled and she needed to control. That was the whole point. But, I think that there was a lot of merit. It took a lot of risks. The set design and the production value was through the roof. They were trying to make it look like something crazy. So I can appreciate it on that level. Was it that great? No. Was it PTA's best movie? No. But there was merit to it. I think it had a very clear point to make. I think it had a very clear point to make. Let's move on. We can't talk about Phantom Thread.
Can I rebuttal your rebuttal one sec?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I just think it's like, yeah, sure, it had a very clear point to make, but it wasn't some sort of like large analogy for like religion or like, some sort of industrial complex or something like that, which you would expect. If it was something where it was like, oh wow, that was a really great metaphor for something, but it was just something so esoteric and like irrelevant from anyone's personal life that I was like, this whole movie, granted the set design was good. I think it won like best costuming and best makeup.
It won best costume, I believe.
Yeah, well, sure, cool. Whoop-de motherfucking do.
I get that. I mean, this is the whole segment. It's just going to be
This
me.
is fun. This is good.
Listen, okay, let's move on. We can't talk about Phantom Thread.
All right, what's yours?
No one cares.
Your turn now.
I'll swing. I have 2 big swings that I can make. I can start now. Let's cover the other one you had real quick. Because we're in the same realm. Yours was...
I forget the name of it.
Roma.
Okay, so
what's your beef with Roma?
My beef with Roma, again, there was like, it felt like, if you haven't seen City of God, it felt like a boring City of God.
Yeah, way less cool.
It was way less cool, way less interesting. And the interesting parts of it were the cheating husband, who we rarely ever saw. And you're watching this kind of like, it felt like it was trying to make a statement on like socioeconomic classes. And then also it would kind of came in like the like rebel armies in Mexico. It just felt like it had no cohesive conclusion. And then there were also points in the movie that were like clearly sort of like director's choices to make elongated scenes.
Sure.
That absolutely meant nothing. And were like, it was a stylistic choice where they just did it. And it was obviously obtuse and it felt weird being in the being in the theater or watching it. So it was something where it was like The Emperor's New Clothes, where there was like a guy walks onto frame. There's a forest fire randomly. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone goes out to put out the forest fire. Guy walks into frame, sings for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then cut. And then we never talk about the forest fire again. It was just, and then it's just to me, and then the girl that goes out and almost drowns, then the housemaid saves
Cleo?
her.
Is that her name?
Yeah, yeah. And then she kind of comes in and saves her. And then they just like, and then she spills her guts. I think she she just like spills her guts and then like basically just narrates her whole inner dialogue throughout the whole entire movie. And you're like, whoa, show don't tell. Read a Sid Field book. Read Save the Cat. It was just like, this is bad cinema. It was bad.
Very interesting. That's great. I mean, listen, was Roma my favorite movie? No. But a lot of people, it really got their rocks off that year. It was a nice first of all, it was diverse, which is it was refreshing in that realm. I'll go back to it for a little bit. It was refreshing to a degree. I thought it had merit. Like listen, it's a heady thing. It's a very self-serving thing.
Don't tell me if it's. I feel like
and I don't mean head. No, sorry, that's
or
not
high concept. Or the things we say that are like.
No, I'm saying it's
you're
in
too
its own
dumb
head.
to understand why it's good.
Listen, dummies.
Yeah.
You don't watch Roma, you're basically fucking.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not gonna listen. I didn't mean heady in that. I meant it's a movie for the people who made that movie. That's what I meant. You know what I mean? This is fine. This is thin ice. You can get canceled for not liking Roma in this town. You know this, dude.
Bring it on. I don't like it.
You know this.
I thought
it was. Listen,
he did Gravity too.
It wasn't that great.
Right?
Listen, it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. Let's move on.
All right.
Here's my big swing.
What are your
You ready
swings?
for my big swings? I have two big swings in different realms.
Hopefully, I've seen the movies.
Here's a broad stroke big swing. Forrest Gump. Not that good. I think it's a jerk off to the 20th century. It's a eulogy of the 20th century. It's just for people who were born in the 30s to look back at all like the good moments that they had. But it had no real. I'm gonna be the last person to ever be like that movie didn't have a point. But that movie didn't have a point. Okay, it was just a dude who floated his way through all of the biggest highlights of the 20th century, which by the way were not great for many people.
True.
I respect. Listen. It's like a bowl of chicken soup. That's what that movie is. It's for people, for boomers. Boomers watch Forrest Gump and they cry because it reminds them of simpler times and everything. And listen, here's the thing, dude. Now there's this whole theory was that like he basically none of it ever happened. That he was just like an insane guy on a bench who just made it all up to the people who came up to him.
Was it based on a true story?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
think
so.
he's. But I mean,
there's a new theory that basically all of the shit that he did was made up, and that it was just a guy who was insane on a park bench rambling.
Dude, anyone that's debating whether a work of fiction, it's like when people are like Dumbledore is gay. When it's like, who cares?
For sure. No, you're right.
Who cares?
That's certainly a correct point.
You're debating the truth of fiction. You're debating a truth of like.
And those people are the worst.
They're bad. They're like,
I would be okay if that was the point of the movie, but the point I'm saying is that it's this new, And am I upset that Forrest Gump didn't get AIDS? Yeah, like he for sure had AIDS, dude.
He doesn't get AIDS, does he?
He doesn't though. Like, and
does he get tested?
No, dude.
It's just assumed that he never.
They never even say that Jenny has AIDS, but she did. They don't say. She just said I got the bug, and of course we all know the implied meaning of the time. Of course she was fucking around listening to Leonard Skinner doing heroin and shit like that, like back in the day. But take a stand, Forrest Gump. And by Forrest Gump I mean people who made Forrest Gump. Take a stand. Give him AIDS. Really shake the boat. Give him AIDS. Because here's the thing: he fucked Jenny, and she had it.
It does feel like a weird plot point to add into the movie where he fucks her and he knows she has AIDS and then that he doesn't contract it.
And he doesn't get it. And also, wouldn't that mean that their kid had AIDS too? It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. I don't get the love for it. Here's my other big swing. Here's the other big swing.
Wait, can I rebuttal?
Sure.
Okay, my rebuttal to Forrest Gump. I don't think you're wrong, But it is what the redeeming quality of that movie, and you kind of went through it in your criticism, is like it was fun.
It's a fun ride. Listen, I'm not. Every movie has merit, dude. I really believe that. I believe that every movie has merit. But that movie
Roma was not fun.
It wasn't fun. It was it just
was
made
not
you feel
boring.
bad about your life.
Forrest
But
Gump was not boring.
Here's
Can you
the thing
say
about
that?
Forrest. Yes, it's not boring. It's entertaining. Crazy shit happens. He's in war. He's playing ping pong. You know,
Yeah.
he's meeting John F. Kennedy before he gets his head blown off.
I think the characters are good.
Yeah, the characters
Lieutenant
are good.
Dan.
Listen, they are good. But what I'm saying is, like, it's centered around this dude. I won't go too far to this because people will turn this into a like. Well, he used to say like I get it. It doesn't matter. He learned to walk. It just never felt. It never clicked. I feel like they were trying to make a statement about culture as a whole, and it just didn't land. It was an entertaining ride, but whatever their statement was, if you're gonna really reference that many points in American history and go through the gamut like that and be like this, like all of these things that happen, you're making a huge period piece. You're making this big like this is all the things. This is a reflection of the shit that went down in America during its probably most explosive time period, which would be the 20th century. Some could argue,
Yeah.
and it just didn't really have any point to make. And that's my criticism. But I want to move on from Forrest Gump, unless you have any pressing points, because I have another big swing.
No, I think you're right. I think, yeah, and it was a bit, yeah, and it was kind of like, it was that. It was just like, check out, imagine if someone experienced all these parts
All
of
these
history.
things.
Wasn't he in the Watergate Hotel or some shit
Basically,
like that?
yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
anyway.
it's just over and over.
It's
and like,
BS.
listen, I get it. It's and we're not debating the truth of fiction here. We know we just made that point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're
It's-
going to take that big of a hit, if you're going to go through that much of American history, you should try and make a point. And I feel like there was no point to be made. Moving on, critically acclaimed film, and I still like this movie, and I still love this movie. It has a place in my heart.
But to hate a movie
but it's
you like.
fucking it's overrated for how critically acclaimed it is, and that movie is Pulp Fiction. Dude,
Really?
I rewatched Pulp Fiction maybe 3 months ago.
Okay.
First time since I was like 16, which is when you watch Pulp Fiction because you just turned 16.
I feel like you watched it a couple different times in life, but go on.
I agree with that. You know what, man? It was cheesy. It was super cheesy, and it was like in Pulp Fiction is like the epitome of cool for like a lot of people. You know what I mean? It was a reaction to it's not new Hollywood of the 70s. It wasn't like the action movies of the 80s. It was just kind of like a blend of everything, right? That's his whole mantra, is that he's the student of film and that this is a reflection of what it should be. It just was it was just cheesy, man. Like the moments that were supposed to be cool weren't cool anymore.
You got to give it, it's unpredictable. You cannot say it's predictable.
No, of course it's not. Listen, I still love Paul. Like it's
What's
always going to have a
cheesy?
place
What
in my
scene?
The dialogue is cheesy, dude. Like
I
the
think
scenes
it's fun and
of John
clunky.
Travolta and Uma Thurman when they're on a date, like that whole date scene, like all the lines they say to each other. It's just, I thought it was cheesy. Listen,
Oh, all right.
I
You
love QT.
You say get it all out. I got so much. I got so much.
I love QT, and I know that it was cheesy because it was supposed to be like, oh, this has like all the quirks of like LA in the 60s. This is like 50s and 60s. This is a throwback to like simpler America, but it's like, she's on heroin and this guy's got a gun and he's a boxer. Like, I get all that. It's a clash of the cultures, right? It was old Hollywood meeting new Hollywood, which is kind of his thing, right? I watched it back and it just didn't, the things that gave me substance before just weren't there anymore. I thought the dialogue was cheesy a lot of spots, but then there were parts where you're like, this is the best. There were some scenes in that where you're like, this is the best. And then sometimes you watch it and you say like QT saying the N-word all the time and you're like, okay, dude, but like, what was this for? And how you got kind of
He says it a lot.
You got a pass, dude. He got a pass and everyone knew it was wrong and he still got a pass. So,
Who directed that scene? There's someone famous that directed that scene. I forget who.
He didn't?
No, he didn't direct it. Someone else did. I forget who it was. But I will say, okay, my defense in that movie is it isn't a classic action movie and you have no idea where it's going. And I think honestly the writing and the script is pretty great for that reason. And I do think the date is like, it's good, because it's awkward and clunky. And it is this like weird, like, what's that? Manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
Who's just like pretending to be some sort of like cute girl and flirt with you and try to get you to have sex with her to piss off her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make conversation, like the $5 milkshake, and like
it's Steve Buscemi, by the way. He's the waiter.
Yeah, dude. It's an awkward. I feel like it's a very sincerely awkward date, dude.
There are a lot of merits to that movie, but all I'm saying is that movie was trying to position itself as the coolest shit in town, and I know. Listen, I wasn't there at the time it was released. I don't know the It just seemed a little cringy and cheesy. It seemed a little Spencer's Gifts, this rewatch, and it gave me conflicting things because I think, listen, I'll be this dipshit who's going out there saying QT's best movie is Inglourious Bastards, and that's a take people don't want to hear. But I digress. That's my point.
I think here's okay. Do you want to give a closing thought, or do you want me to go first?
No, go ahead, buddy.
I think closing thought on that. I think QT's best work is Reservoir Dogs, because I think just from a cultural standpoint of an undercover cop going and trying to be a part of a heist.
Yeah.
I think, and then when the cop shoots the lady who shoots him. Yeah. That even just like it's that great. Part of the movie, and then there's so much, and then the guy that doesn't think he's the dirty mole. And he's like, he loves him and he's been shot and he's trying to take care of him. And he's the guy that stands by him and it's like, no, he's good. I love this man. We need to get him to the hospital because he's not the cop and he is a good guy. And that love there. But the guy that's dying is realizing it's no, I am the cop. Yeah. I betrayed you and you love me. That is just that. I mean, okay.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's a better movie. But Pulp Fiction is a fun movie, and I think the dialogue, and I think Samuel L. Jackson's great. I think John Travolta's great. I'm not even a John Travolta fan. I think Quentin Tarantino's great. I even think that scene where he repeatedly says the N-word is still it's something you can't do now. Yeah. Well, okay, but man. We should just do a movie podcast. I have so many I'm done.
Well, whatever we can get people to fucking pay for at this point, give us this is a business, dude. This is new Hollywood, bitch. Everyone's like, I want to make an art film. No, bitch. We're making a podcast about the best toys from the 90s. Ugh. And it's on iHeartMedia, and I'm a fucking millionaire now. Worst trends of 2020.
Yeah, I have a few.
You have a few. And listen, it's going to be a weird year. What are the trends? What are the real trends? Getting unemployment, calling your parents for money, getting evicted, getting bullshit meat delivered to your house for 10 times the cost, fighting people for,
Well, I have my positives and negatives. I think my number one, the main thing that happened that I think is the most regrettable. It feels like the regrettable hookup for everyone is Tiger King. I think that was something that came out. Yeah. Everyone got obsessed with it, but now if anyone references anything, it was such a craze that it was
it's so cringy now when people talk about it.
And you think about it, you're like, oh no, I watched
dude,
that shit.
It's so awkward when you have someone older at work on your conference call and someone does something crazy. Like, oh, this guy's the Tiger King. It's oh, do you guys say Carol Baskin's there? Oh, dude, come on, man. Yeah, it was hot for a minute because we were all scared and depressed. Right. And then then you find out, he's racist. The guys who were fucking him weren't actually gay. Mm-hmm. Carol Baskin is basically as presented, but just kind of redeemable. She's just a person who now gets death threats from, white guys. Whatever.
You just realize you're oh, these are just the shitty people I grew up with, but they're in Florida now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just,
and I just watched 8 hours of the people that I hated in my hometown talk.
Listen, talk about a good documentary. It was a good documentary. It was fucking.
You thought so?
Yeah, I thought man, it was super entertaining.
I think it was a reality television show that disguised itself as a documentary until you got 4 episodes in. Then you're like, oh, I'm watching reality TV. You think you're doing this cultural
yeah, but that's because people think documentaries have to be a cultural oh, this is basically history. No, dude, documentary is just finding a real life character. You know what I mean? A character who exists in the actual world. A tangible thing that you can actually go find. Yeah. And in that realm, I thought it had merit. And I was like, I like Tiger King. I fucked with it.
Really?
I thought it was great. Everyone did. Dude, it was so entertaining.
You're right. But
in
it's
the
a
moment,
regrettable
we would talk about
hookup, dude.
But yeah, well, it's one of those things you just don't talk about now because the world moved on. And you're like, dude, we were all talking about it because everyone was worried about losing their homes.
Mm-hmm. Just it was a distraction.
So we all were just like, is this crazy? And secretly we're like, but really? Yeah. I'm not going to have Netflix next month. Right. So let's make this count.
Okay.
You know?
All right, it's fair.
Okay, here's my worst trend of 2020. Here's the fucking worst. Is those stupid videos people were making of like making things out of toilet paper and jumping over it. Like they would make the wall of toilet paper, they would stack it up and like jump up.
I don't even think I saw this.
Oh my God, dude. It never made sense to me.
It's playing right there.
It never made sense to me.
What is it?
It was exactly what I said. It was people started filming these videos of they would just get all the toilet paper in their house and make like a wall of it and like jump over it or see if they get the dog to jump over it or get the dog to like jump through. It was just like toilet paper stunts. But the thing is, like a month before that, people were stabbing each other at Aldi to get it. People were sucking dicks just to get like a 4-pack of Charmin. Oh. And you go to a bodega and it's like $10 for a 4-pack and people are going to jail over like price gouging and shit like that. And then a month later, all of a sudden, you know, I don't know, fucking Portia de Rossi is like making an obstacle course out of toilet paper and everyone's like, oh, this is so fun. I was like, this is not cool, dude. This is not worst trend of 2020.
Oh, dang, dude. That actually, yeah, I you know what? I must have missed it. It sounds awful.
It was short-lived,
okay.
But it was a thing. It was happening. Well, and I was not okay with it.
That triggers in my mind. You know what I think business really thrived and has like come out of we'll see what happens, but like TikTok, dude.
Oh, well, so that's definitely got to be like the biggest trend of.
I have to say, all right, so I feel like it's in vogue to like make fun of TikTok and like make fun of people that make TikToks.
I will not make fun of them.
TikTok, why? Because they're Chinese?
No, because it's the future of entertainment. TikTok, whether people want to admit it or not.
Yes. TikTok, I'm on TikTok. We have a TikTok.
You just post the clips there,
right?
I
upload everything there. TikTok, for so many reasons. I think it's like a content meritocracy, which I think is a more boring thing to talk about. But the real exciting thing to talk about is I was on Instagram Reels because they're trying to compete. Yeah. And basically, they just totally bit the whole goddamn thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the same.
Which won't work for them.
Dude, I was on it, and I'm like, sucks.
It rarely works. It rarely works. Like, Instagram almost beat Snapchat. Like, people thought Snapchat was going to go under because Instagram started doing stories and like private messengers. They pretty much buried them. Snapchat's still going, dude. People forget that Snapchat was ingrained, and that's how people actually communicate a lot.
You're right.
But TikTok is the future, man. It's literally watching people. The weird thing is watching people like lip sync, like stand-up comedy or whatever, like Sarah Cooper or whatever. Like, I don't. Okay, dude, I'll go there.
Oh, you're going negative trend, TikTok.
I'll go negative. No. I'll go bad. I don't get Sarah Cooper. I don't get it. I'm not going to say it's bad because I don't.
Sarah Cooper quotes Trump?
Yeah, the lady who's just doing the lip syncs of Trump. I don't get it. I don't know why it's. I truly don't get why it's like funny.
Well, this is the thing.
And that's such a shitty, like, I know, dude. Everyone fucking hates me for saying that. She's so popular. And like, dude, I get it. Like, I'm jealous. She did something that worked. Like, don't get it twisted. Yeah. Like, she's killing it.
Yeah.
But I truly,
aware that you only resent her for her success. It's fine.
I don't resent her for her success. I just don't understand like what it was.
That's what, dude. I get on there, and you know it's the things that are always trending. Usually, it'll pop up some chick with big titties doing a dance, shaking her tits, and I watch it, and I'm like, that was pretty cool. TikTok
knows what the world wants. It's tits, fight, racist Karen, tits, ass, fighting.
Sometimes like huge fishing nets bringing in tons of fish.
Yeah, it'll be like some kind of wholesome thing. Yeah. Like it'll be like a time lapse of a cake coming together in a microwave.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wow.
Or a kangaroo hugging a dog.
Yeah. Or it's like, you know, sometimes it's funny. It's like a little like Indonesian like 7-year-old smoking a cigarette or something. It's like,
fun.
Dance. It's fun, dude.
Yeah.
They know what people want.
Yeah. No, it's
TikToks, I'm ranking them in best trends of 2020.
Yeah.
There goes that light.
There we go.
You know what's fucking crazy is I was literally just now sitting here like, Is that light gonna last?
Do you want to put in the new errors?
All right, so TikTok, best trend of 2020. Here's another worst trend. Here, can I throw one out?
Please.
And listen, a lot of you aren't gonna like this. This is really gonna anger some people, and they can deal with it because this is a real life reflection that I'm gonna stand here. Worst trend of 2020: people posting screenshots of their donation to a BLM charity.
Oh,
very bad, very tacky, very tacky. Just make a difference. You know, like it became this thing where people were like, "Oh, well, I hope it motivated a lot of people to donate." But what I'm saying is, dude, come on, it's tacky, and there goes that one. It's tacky, dude. Let's just finish it. The batteries are dying. The lights are going. You understand? Right. We're doing our best here. It's tacky, dude. It was lame as hell. I don't know when that became cool. Like, isn't that gross? Isn't that like a gross thing? Like, don't you feel self-conscious? Like, we've all donated. Like most adults of like 28 and older, right?
Yeah.
You donate to things. I would never think of like posting. Here's a real life example. I have a point to make, but should I name it?
The person?
No, the charity.
Yeah, sure.
I got real high one day, and I was watching these videos of the koalas right after the Australia fire, and it made me cry. So I koala charity.
Okay.
I didn't post that shit on Instagram.
Well, you're telling everyone now.
I know, but I'm making a point is to like...
You've become what...
That's why I said I didn't want to say it, dude. And
now it feels like this is a big ruse to drop that you donated to the koalas.
That's actually all this was. No, it was nothing. I ruined it. But the point I'm making is that like it's tacky,
dude.
I'll bleep it out. I'll bleep the name of the charity out.
There you go.
I'll commit to it because that's not the point. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's tacky.
Oh, absolutely. Of course it is. It's ridiculous.
You don't want to push back at all?
No, I think it's tacky, but like at the same time, it's like a biblical thing. It actually is. It's like their reward is on earth and not in heaven. That's what they say. It's like basically people that are very showy about what they offer to the church.
I don't know. I thought...
Well, you got to think about this, man. It's like the whole millennial legacy. It doesn't matter what the intention was, but the fact of the matter was $200 went to those koalas or whatever it was,
That's true.
Or $200 went to the BLM, to support rebuilding a black-owned business or something like that. At the end of the day, who gives a fuck why the person gave it, but they gave it.
That's a good point. Listen, I get it. I'm just saying. It seemed like it got into this like arms race thing where it's like basically you just look at all your friends and you're just like, well, if and they're like one-upping each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this, and then you just turn into like ranking. We're like, oh, this poor bastard only gave $5. Come on, man.
Hey, man, at the same time, whatever the thing is, it's like if that feels good. But at the same time, it's funny when you see someone do it, it kind of like loses its goodwill from me because I'm like,
yeah. Now listen, I can't imagine
the money still goes to the people.
Listen, I can't imagine a scenario where I'm going to let this section of the podcast make it to air. But the only point I'll make on this is that like listen. Do you think it's spurred more good than, like, how much do you believe in people's intentions? You know what I'm saying? Like, each person who does it, you kind of like, whether you want to admit it or not, you kind of do like a quick mental scan of who that person is to you. And you're like, now, did they post this to tell the world that they're like a good person?
Of course.
Do they post all the time? That's how I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm like damaged, dude. Every time I see that, I'm like, dude, you just want people to know how great you are.
No, of course, dude.
I hate that.
No, everyone knows that. Even the people that comment like, wow, that is so cool. They're like, fucking bitch.
I know,
flaunting
right?
Or wealth.
Like, dude, at least if people want to hear my shitty opinions, they have to go through the work of like going on YouTube,
Right. Exactly.
That's the moral high ground.
But it is true, man. It's funny because you do that and you're like, oh, I get, and everyone, like, nobody doesn't think like, just like, oh, well, now you did that so you could tell us all. Everyone's all virtuous on the internet and everyone knows exactly what's going on. So whenever you do that, you just look like an idiot.
But it's like a game you're either playing or you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny because you feel like it's the whole thing where if I tell someone I'm virtuous, it doesn't matter because then no one believes me. If you have to tell people how virtuous you are, you're probably a piece of motherfucking shit.
Yeah.
You know?
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Is there anything left to discuss?
No, I think
Are there
we're
any more
done.
pressing
It's too dark.
topics?
We're
It has
dark.
gotten dark. I can fix this. I can brighten it up.
Cool. We'll be good.
No, let's wrap on something funny, dude.
That was funny. Turn on the funny, Zach.
You hit me, dude. I didn't want to end on me shitting on people who donate to Black Lives Matter, dude. That's not the point. I can't. This whole podcast is just me trying to go out of my way to not get in my own way. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. I mean, I shat on him too.
listen. Poor dude got murdered on Olive Drive. There are no suspects named. I check every day. I don't.
We'll start the investigation. You and me.
Someone should,
private
dude.
eyes.
It's because it's kind of freaking me out now. And oh man,
You're all right. You didn't fuck nobody's wife.
I know, but
You
I'm
didn't
just
poison
saying, you know,
anyone.
the dude's getting murdered on this street. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because they're doing nefarious shit.
But like,
dude.
what did he do? You know, like, do you ever?
He probably owed somebody a lot of money or something.
You think that's what it is? You think it's that
Gambling
simple?
debt. Yes, he just
You
got
think
in.
that still happens, man? Like, I think about that a lot. Like, people say like gambling debt, someone get killed. Like, I don't know. Like in West Hollywood and
Yeah.
you think so? You think that's maybe? I guess the world's cooler than I'm giving it credit.
You
know?
gotta realize a lot of the people you see every day are like, I've noticed that in my life. Like, the more I get to know people, the more I realize how fucked up their lives are, dude.
Yeah, that's a good
The
point.
more I get to like normal people, I get to know them. I'm like, oh man, you're a felon.
Yeah, holy shit, dude.
I know so many felons that I've
Dude,
like.
me too.
I've worked with,
Yeah.
and not even like felon, like tax evasion felon, like
No.
like
Like
drug,
assault.
like stung,
Yeah.
drug deal stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Me too. Those people were more fun to hang out with.
Yeah,
They're more real. And in my case, all the felons I know is like up front. It's just like, yeah, this is what it is. Like, this is who I am. And I'm like, all right.
For me, it takes a while to get that. Like, once we get there, they're like, hey, someone be honest with you. And then once they say, someone be honest with you, you're like, you're a felon? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it goes for me.
I used to work with this dude at Radio Shack who was an ex-felon. He went to jail
Well, that's
for like,
assumed, man. If someone's working at a Radio Shack, I think they only hire like,
Yeah.
it's like a rehabilitation job.
listen, no one's going to come here, so this is the easiest way to reintegrate you into society.
Yeah.
No, I work
sell
with-
people batteries.
Yeah, sell people these fucking resistors and shitty alarm clocks and weather clocks. Dude,
And
people,
headphone splitters, and yeah.
like, listen, we know you killed 6 people, but your punishment is now you have to sell Bluetooth adapters
Oh, he's
to
going back
people
to
who
prison,
are
dude.
going on vacation, grandmas who are going on vacation.
There we go. Was that funny enough?
That's probably it.
There we go.